that Donald Trump had tested positive for COVID before that debate and then attended an event for a Supreme Court justice, for Gold Star families, a rally for his supporters, and backed away from giving this deposition. The committee says, if you don't want to talk about the stuff that you claim has executive privilege, we have a whole bunch of other questions that land outside of that. Come talk about that, and yet he still won't show up.
Yeah, it's tough to do justice to just how bizarre this whole thing is. Mark Meadows is willing to incur legal costs, potentially significant legal costs, to not talk about stuff that he put in his own book. It doesn't really make sense, except for the fact that Mark Meadows feels a compulsion to be nice to Donald Trump. I read the book. I did. It was.
And did Trump do a blurb for it?
Trump did do a blurb. Yes, he did. I have to say, it's a very interesting snapshot into the mind of someone who's trying to curry favor with the president. The one part that Trump got really mad at was, you know, a revelation that he tested positive. Yeah, he told the truth.
Yeah.
There are other parts in this book that you kind of blush that it's so over the top. He compares the speech Trump gave when he returned home from Walter Reed, infamously. He compares that speech to Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
Come on.
Maybe he lowballed it. No, it's a remarkable book for how sycophantic
what I'm saying. This is sad, and it is pathetic at a level that you just.
And I think the obvious, logical extension is that he's going to incur tens of thousands of dollars in legal costs to protect someone who obviously doesn't want, would never protect him if the situation was reversed. He's already dumped on his book. He's calling it fake news. It just shows how one-sided these relationships
the loyalty goes one way. David Ignatius, I thought there was a tell in that interview that Meadows had. The thing that they're the most scared about are the phone records. So who called whom? Yeah. Because that's going to reveal the TikTok of who Donald Trump's calling, who they're calling, who's furiously calling them to try to get, Donald Trump to actually call out the National Guard and save the lives of people inside the Capitol. But for him, for Meadows, he goes, when they did what, by the way, everybody does in every lawsuit. This is what everybody does. You get the phone records, you get office, you get everything. You get the files in Discovery. But of course, they're freaking out because that helps.
So the truth,
them put the
truth will
together.
Out. The phone records are part of how that's going to happen. What I find just shocking about this is that the Trump people are still acting as if they can run a separate state, independent of the laws, the procedures of Congress, that they can defy what they like without consequence. It really is shocking. You get so used to seeing this. Well, we're not going to testify. Well, I'm going to invoke the Fifth. I mean, it's just extraordinary for people, private citizens now, to imagine that they have the rights to defy the legal institutions of the government. And at some point, I hope we see a marshal come and arrest for criminal contempt one of these people, maybe Mark Meadows, and walk him off to the D.C. jail.
Something has to happen.
But something like that
consequence.
That says we do have a rule of law here, and you can't keep violating it.
Well, they have to at least show up. If they want to plead the Fifth when they show up, that's fine. But they have to at least comply with the subpoena and come before Congress, put the documents out there, or else, the Justice Department needs to be aggressive and prove that no one's above the law.
My fear is, I fully agree with everything, the premise of your question, everything David's just said. My fear is, if this is a race against the clock being the midterm elections and the effective dissolution of this committee, they might win it. Bannon's going to go on trial for contempt. It's not till July the 18th that he goes on trial. If Meadows is held for contempt and that's upheld by the courts, I presume that'll be later than July the 18th. We're already well into the election season before any penalties are going to be visited on these people. All the others, Roger Stone, John Eastman, are taking the same stance. So they are saying to the law, who is stronger, us or your idea of the law. And so far, the law is being very polite and taking its time.